It's Jeremy Hassel from Gakcity.com and WCBS 880 with one of the most important people in New York City. Ronn Torossian, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Great. Now, you're the head of 5WPR. For all of you who don't know, 5WPR gets me most of my celebrity interviews. You guys take care of me. I appreciate it. That's some great events, some great clients. So tell me, what's 5WPR?
We like to have fun. We're the fastest growing PR firm in the country 3 years in a row. We're about being focused, being aggressive, and we're about getting the job done, providing access.
Great. So tell me about some of your clients.
We represent Anheuser-Busch. We represent Evian on the celebrity side. We represent anybody from a Snoop Dogg and an Ice Cube to a Pam Anderson and a Little Kim. We're involved in a lot of different worlds. We're aggressive, fast-growing, fun. We're in New York and LA, soon to be in Miami.
Oh, wow, there it is. And I saw actually your name in Forbes, the top 40. How did that feel?
You know, it's fun. I think, for us, it's about the world has changed. The world has changed. The guy wearing the suit and tie isn't necessarily doing any better than the guy in the sweatsuit. And for us, it's about understanding that America is a new place. It's a new America. There's a browning of America going on, so that the white guy and the black guy these days are very similar. The world has changed. The coolest kid in his class in Wichita, Kansas is an urban kid. People today realize that race boundaries have changed, financial boundaries have changed, and to me the world is wide open. I'm a guy who was born in the Bronx, grew up in the Bronx, public school in New York my whole life, and it's about really building a brand and having fun while we do it. And I think that the PR industry is one that's ripe for a change, and we're trying to implement change.
I see it every day, every week when I'm at your events and interviewing your clients. So how did you even get into PR?
I think by accident. I think I'm still a grown kid trying to figure out what I want to do for a living. To me, PR is about being focused. It's about sales. It's about increasing a client's bottom line. It's about being real, being honest. I think that, I started this firm myself a little bit more than 4 years ago with, first client was Bad Boy Entertainment, who I met playing basketball, met Puffy and some others from his executive team playing basketball. And started the firm January 2003 by myself. Today we're about 80 people, New York and LA. Aggressive, focused, growing, loving it.
Wow, so give me, when you think of 5WPR, what's one of the biggest events that you threw that you're proud of?
Every day we do something different. I mean, we do, all of the Evian sponsorship for US Open every year. This year, just last week, we did the launch of Def Jam Interactive EA's video game, which was a lot of fun. Real good attendance. You guys were there? So, it was hot. We had, Russell was there, Kevin Lyles was there, Jim Jones, Kim Millionaire, Fat Joe, a lot of others. And every week we're doing something different. We did, Melly Mel's introduction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on Monday night. An artist like Melly Mel who defines hip-hop going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that's a lot of fun. But every day we do things that I think are a lot different, and most of the work doesn't have our fingerprints on it. We like to do things that appear in front of the public that you won't know that 5W is behind it. Our job is to build our clients' brands. So we have about 140 clients, constantly growing, constantly trying to make it happen. And we're trying to be the hardest working people out there. I'm not trying to have the prettiest offices. I'm trying to make the most amount of money. I'm not trying to be Mr. Fancy. I'm trying to be hardworking. I think anybody who tells me in business that they're lucky, the more hours that I work, the luckier I become. So, I think that that's another thing that differentiates us between our firm and other PR firms out there in this city. We're about building a business and about building our clients' business.
Wow. So tell me about a client that you feel were instrumental in their career that you broke.
A lot of them, but I prefer that my clients talk about it. I think that we do. I'll tell you, we're very involved with Nick Cannon's career for the last few years. I think Nick is a close friend. And Nick is somebody who's really evolved from being this cute kid next door in Nickelodeon to today having MTV's highest rated show. And for us, our goal and dream with Nick is to make him into the young Will Smith, and I think slowly we're getting there. Multifaceted, talented guy. We got him his first cover a few months back, and constantly really building out his brand. Sean Combs is another brand. When I started working with, Sean Combs a bunch of years ago, it was right after the gun trial. He had just been dumped by America's Most Beautiful Woman, and urban hip-hop wasn't where it is today. Today, hip-hop is all you see on MTV. Today, hip-hop is what you see on TV day in, day out. 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, it was a different thing. It was still a little bit, who are those people exactly? Corporate America was concerned about it. I think one of the most fascinating campaigns that we worked on was really showing the entrepreneurial business side of what Bad Boy Entertainment Worldwide was about. Talking about the Blue Flame brand, about the Justin's brand, Blue Flame and Justin's, and talking about kind of the different facets which go into building out a business. And now only a few years later, you see somebody like Jay-Z, selling a brand for $204 million yesterday. this is the American dream. And for me, these are the type of people that we build our business around. For me, not just Jay-Z and, Sean Combs and people like that. For me, role models are people like Mark Cuban, an internet billionaire who's changing the face of American business. And he's doing it in an unorthodox manner. For me, people like that who are entrepreneurs, whether they're tiny technology companies or, huge brands, for us, that embodies who 5W is.
That's great. And being where you're at, there are a lot of people here who would love to get into PR. What advice would you give someone to get into the game?
Work really hard. This is a tough business to break into. It's a tough business to succeed at. I would tell you that, internships are more important than anything you learn in school. I have people come in here with degrees from Harvard and this and that. It doesn't mean as much for me as knowing, can you pick up the phone? If you're in PR and you don't get hung up on, you're not doing a good job. You got to get hung up on. This is a sales job. You're selling every day. It's easy to get Snoop Dogg an interview. Great. You think that's hard? You think there's an outlet that doesn't want him? The trick is to get him in a place that he doesn't belong. To get Snoop in MTV, big deal. You can call MTV any minute of the day. Do you want Snoop Dogg? The answer is yes. Now, can you get him into GQ? Can you get him into a woman's magazine being reflected positively? And I think that's that's what it's about for a wide variety of our different clients, about the ability to transcend an image, about the ability to put a brand where it's not about to be. So I would tell you, for somebody who wants to break into PR, read, and read again. It's about reading. PR is not about being this glamorous job. It's about really working hard. The people who succeed here are out in the clubs till 2, 3, 4 in the morning because that's their job. And they're at their desk at 9 a.m. because that's also their job. If you want to be really sexy and broke, don't come work for me. If you want to be really sexy and work hard and make money, then 5W wants you. And I think that that's, again, for me, one of the reasons we succeed in the PR business, particularly in the entertainment space, is there's very few firms that do what they say they're going to do. I'm sure you deal with it every day. With my staff, if they tell you somebody's going to be somewhere, they're going to be there. With a lot of other businesses, particularly for young business people, they just don't do what they say they're going to do. And for me, I like to follow my friend Kevin Liles. Kevin Liles, brilliant business executive. Kevin talks about if the people who work at Warner Music Group didn't work here, they should be able to work at Microsoft, American Express, or any Fortune 500 company. The key is not to have a music industry, entertainment industry, and mentality that it's okay to stroll into work at 11 o'clock and leave at 3:30. Those aren't people who succeed in my business.
Ron, what's the best part of your job for you?
Buying Evian water, baby. Buy that Evian.
This is Ron. I'm Jeremy. We're some grown-ass kids.